So it was a busy week for the regime this week. Signed a big, beautiful bill. And um, I'm sure you've seen some notes about it from every side about how it will affect Americans and the future of this country, particularly for people who don't have much. Of course, it will have a lot of tax cuts, trillions, in fact, for high earners and corporations, and is cutting $1 trillion from Medicaid over the next decade and billions of dollars from the SNAP food stamp program. So, more cuts for the wealthy, more cuts of money and funding for the disadvantaged, which is such an interesting strategy considering that many of the disadvantaged people in this country actually voted for him. And there's a lot of details and numbers that I could throw at you, and plenty of experts have done great work in explaining why this is a very problematic bill and why the Democrats were fighting very much to not let it pass. Of course, it did, and now we are stuck in this situation. And I thought a lot about how I felt about the bill and how I felt about how all this has gone down, and felt about the reaction to it and the people that are going to be most affected by it. I thought about the people in my life who have used these programs. My mother, of course, when she was trying to raise two children, my grandmother and my aunts who were elderly and not capable of working. You know, those people, the people that really needed help, not lazy people, not people taking advantage of the system, just people that need a little bit of help to make it through, single mothers because they want everybody to have children, elderly because, they want people to live longer. All of the people that do their best to try and make it happen in this country and just need a little bit of help. Rural communities, places that are going to lose hospitals because of this bill cut. It's all really devastating and overwhelming. And, pairing that with all of the ICE kidnappings and the fact that you can get sent to the South Sudan in a crate. I think this might be one of my more unpopular opinions, and I have a bunch of those. But I think we've just reached the point in American society where people have to feel the repercussions of their choices, because we have become so anti-intellectual. We're anti-education. We're anti-experts. We're anti-facts. We're anti-conversation. We're anti-compromise. We're anti-learning something new and then adjusting your opinion as such. These people are addicted to the messaging, to the idea of control. Many of these people are in a cult. Many of these people are not educated enough to even understand what's happening to them. And then, of course, there is this big looming cloud of the desire for proximity to whiteness. I don't know how to explain that to someone. I don't know how to reach anyone anymore. So I've come to the conclusion that, unfortunately, we are going to have to live through this reality no matter how many times that we put the facts out there, no matter how many times we beg people to act in their own best interest, no matter how many different ways you slice it and try to explain how this is going to affect you negatively, people are still going to do what they think puts them in the power seat. And even if it is literally giving away your rights, even if it's literally giving away the way that you pay your medical bills, the way that you feed your children, it doesn't matter. However your conspiracy theory pie slices, this man is the president of the United States of America. And these choices are being made. And they are going to have repercussions for decades to come. And every empire and every country and every government that's ever existed that's failed was at this point, and they thought, can't be us. It could never be us. No, it's us. We are signing up for our own destruction. And look, I know there are so many people who are like, I didn't vote for this. I didn't vote for this. Baby, I didn't vote for this either. But What I did know is that if this was going to happen, which there was a very high chance of it if you paid attention to anything that anyone was saying, that it was going to affect me negatively. So when I talk to people, I tried to explain to them how these type of decisions that he said he was going to make were going to affect you negatively. Look, 50% basically of the Hispanic community voted for this. What do you want me to do with that? Rural communities voted for this. What do you want me to do with that? I hurt for the people who knew better, who tried and are still going to have to deal with the sadness and the terror of these decisions. But I've just come to the conclusion that we're at a place in society where most of our country is either not intelligent enough, not educated enough, too overwhelmed with hate in their spirit, or quite frankly, just in a cult that they can't be reached. And the only way that you can reach those people is through actual reality. Things have to hit their doorstep. And when it does, they have to have it explained to them that the reason why this is happening is the choices that you made. That is the only way to get through to the people who still don't understand what's happening. I've been crying from the rooftops about what's going on. Many, many, many facts have been laid out. Many pleas for everyone to wake up have been posted. If you still agree with what's happening right now, you either are highly benefiting from it or you don't understand what's happening, in which case, like, I don't know. I have 1% empathy left in my body and I'm holding on to it for dear life because I truly believe that the core of being evil is not having empathy, and I don't want to go full bad. But man, like, people have to experience reality. They have to suffer almost. It doesn't sound good, but I don't know what other thing there is to do. They're not listening. They want this. They ask for this. And until it actually affects them, they're just going to continue to say it's the right thing to do. Now, the interesting thing is if we ever have an election again and it does switch over to a different party, that party is likely going to be the party that has to deal with the fallout from all of this. And of course, then they'll blame that party because, they're not paying attention to why it's happening in the first place. And then the cycle will continue if we even have a country or a planet for that to happen. But yeah, that's the realization that I've come to, that I just think people have to deal with the reality of their decisions. I mean, you're seeing it all over the country. You're seeing it in Miami. Lots of people endorse Trump and their family members are being deported. Why wouldn't you think that's going to happen? Proximity to whiteness does not protect you. White supremacy does not care how much you support them or how close you are to them. You either are or you're not. And a lot of people are in the find out part after the fuck around that's not how white supremacy works. I don't know what to say. I'm out of solutions, and I think people just have to feel it. They have to feel it. It's the only way they'll learn.